These are the chickens that actually stayed behind when I sold off the bigger flock. So these are some of the few that I remained with. They've been laying quite well until recently, about 3 days. I realized there was a drop in the eggs. You know, they've been giving me a lot of freedom, and I've been a bit reluctant on, you know, the way I take care of them, how I've been raising these chickens under less pressure because the number is smaller. So they kind of give me the freedom, but again, I loosened out and I missed a few things. One of the few things I missed out is the fact that mites and lice have actually infested these chickens. That's why there's a drop in the eggs. Someone would wonder, how do mites actually cause a drop in egg production? Because the mites, let me see, you're able to see here. I wish you could see. They are tiny parasites, but they feed. They actually feed on the skin, on the blood. They feed on the blood of this chicken. That means these chickens are going to, instead of concentrating on egg production, they are actually going to concentrate on how they can get rid of these parasites. On top of fighting these parasites, they are actually making sure that whatever is left after the parasites have fed, it's actually for theirs to maintain, it's for body maintenance. So at the end of the day, you're going to realize that your chickens are not actually laying properly. So I realized that, and it's very bad in laying chickens. It's very bad. The source, I'm guessing, because I have local birds over there outside, the distance isn't so far away. It's not even close to 20 feet from where I'm keeping the local birds. And I recently, actually, one of my local birds died. I realized it was, instead of gaining weight, it was actually just thinning out, and there was no signs of any sickness. Until one day I decided to check its feathers, and it was already too late, so it unfortunately died. It kind of skipped my mind. Now I'm thinking of it, because I should have actually checked even these ones, because if the mites had infested on the local ones, it means even these ones there was a likelihood that they were also attacked. But I kind of became lazy and I didn't do that. So I have a remedy. For that. I got some. I've been keeping this for some time, just in case. I stocked it just in case. It's just in case I got a problem of mites. So this is doo-doo. I don't know, it's doo-doo dust. It's not for advertising. It's doo-doo dust. It should be able to do the job properly. What you do, it's in powder form. I don't know. Let me show you something. It's in powder form. So what you do, you get, I don't know if you're able to see, you get the chicken and you start like powdering it on it, and then as it's flipping its wings, it means the powder will be able to spread the entire body, and the mites will disappear. So this treats a lot of worms. I think these are bed bugs, cockroaches, mites, lice, all those tiny skin parasites. So doo-doo takes care of it. I can't give these birds right now because it's during day, and since it's in powder form, there is a likelihood that if you pour some on one of the feathers, the others will think it's food, and they will start eating it, and I don't want it to be ingested by these birds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for them. When it's night, I'll spread it on all of the chickens, actually when they are sleeping. This brings me to my next tip when it comes to farm management. You know, most of us, we don't know the difference between important and urgent activities on the farm. We find it so difficult to separate the two. The difference is there are things on the farm that are urgent, and there are those ones that are actually important. The earlier you realize the difference, the more successful and easier it's going to be for you to run your farm. Like I mentioned, I'm supposed to treat these birds of the mites, but I can't do it now because it doesn't seem urgent. I know it's important and it's almost an emergency, but I can't do it right now because it's convenient to do it at night. So let's first talk about a few things that are urgent on the farm. One of the things that are urgent on the farm, on your poultry farm, number one is to make sure your birds are fed. For example, today I woke up very late. I was supposed to give my chickens, I usually wake up at 5, but ever since I sold off a bigger number of these birds, I've been a bit lazy and reluctant. So I woke up very late, around 6. I came in, there was no water, and it was time for these chickens to feed. So I thought about it. I was like, can I first give them water or can I first give them feeds? But what was urgent then, it was not actually water, it was feeds. So I gave them the feeds, and then after feeding them, after I'd served them, I went and gave them water, and it worked. Is that so? On the farm, number one of the things that are urgent is actually feed and water. Make sure you're feeding your chickens at the right time and at the same time with the correct amount of feeds at the correct growth stage. You know, these chickens at each stage they have a specified amount of feeds they should be consuming, like that. The other thing that I first do when I enter in this poultry farm, because these are laying birds, I switch on the lights. It's very important. That's an urgent thing on the farm on a daily basis. So feed, checking on the ventilation, checking on the health of the birds, it's very urgent. These are daily chores. These are things that you schedule on a daily basis. Otherwise, if you do not, then you're going to face challenges. So water, your birds have to have fresh, clean water on a daily basis. Actually, we are advised that you would rather run out of feeds than water. As we all know, especially in laying birds, an egg is most of it is actual water. So if your birds are not drinking enough water, it means they will not be able to form those eggs those fine eggs that we are all looking for. However, if you ignore important things on the farm, they will turn out to be urgent. They will turn out to be an emergency. For example, one of the important things that actually, if you do not take care of them, they'll become urgent. Number one is if you skip vaccinations. If you skip vaccinating of your birds, it means it's going to become an emergency on your farm. How? Your birds are going to get sick, and so you'll be prompted to treat your birds right away. That has become an emergency because you skipped an important activity on the farm. The other important activity that might actually, if you overlook it, can become an urgent matter. It's actually if you skip record keeping. If you do not keep records on your farm, time is going to reach when you want to balance your sheets, and you can no longer do that. And in that case, it's actually going to become an emergency. The other things is actually marketing your products. If you skip, it's not an urgent thing. For example, considering these birds actually start laying at 5 months, so you will have done that in the meantime as these birds were growing. But since you skipped it, it's going to become an urgent matter, and it's going to affect you and stress you out. So to avoid all that kind of stress that you may undergo when emergencies happen on your farm, we should have schedules, day schedules. We should have calendars and schedules on our farms that guide us when we are carrying out daily chores or daily activities on our farms. You see how my birds are scratching? Now those are mates disturbing them. Those are mates disturbing them because, you see, they are scratching. So it means my birds are actually under stress. I don't know if you're able to see them. now it has become an emergency because I have overlooked it. Anyways, just wanted to share some bit of experience on what's happening on our farm. And with that, I'm going to see you in the next video.